Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and we're on for War 4 today. We're facing NEFTI, and I'm going to be bringing Cassie for the first time this season, Chee'ilth and Kushala for the first time this season as well. So it'll be an interesting one. I have a couple new fights, some that I've taken in the past, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to be starting off on path 9 here with the Void and the Kindred, moving on to 5B, got Ibom and Maestro there. And then two bosses, we've got Werewolf on Hazard Shift and Hulk on the Power Efficiency. So starting off with this Void, I'm going to be using Chee'ilth. I don't have the Hulk synergy, so it makes it a little bit more dangerous with Hazard Shift. I'm expecting to take damage going into this. I'm trying to avoid that by using a Power Start 1. That means we get to our Special 2 a little bit quicker, and it means that we can apply the Tranquilize and hopefully avoid some of those debuffs. I'm also going to be really trying for the intercept here, because with the tactic champs this season, if they throw a special, they are then power drained. That counters power efficiency. So instead of Void, using 50% of a bar of power for any specials that he's going to throw, he's going to use all of his power and go back down to 0, as we see there. Going to be trying to dex most of his special because, I just want to avoid chip damage a little bit. And I'm trying to juggle both keeping my cleanses up, because I don't want to get too many debuffs on me. You see, we've got quite a few on us already, but I also need to get an intercept, so sometimes I need to go for the combos, backdraft into an intercept and keep on comboing him. Chee'ilth has so much damage that we took an Ascended Void there without too much difficulty, and we got him down pretty quick before we could take too much damage. But yeah, if that's a rank 3 or if things start to go wrong, that can turn into a very scary fight very quickly. Next up we have this Kindred. So I took this sort of fight a lot with Decay last season, but the unfortunate thing is this season we don't have Decay to rely on. It makes Kindred a lot scarier. You can't underestimate him. He's a really difficult defender sometimes. So as we're going into this fight, I really want to focus on keeping my debuffs up. I want to get my taunt up as soon as possible, but I also want to start controlling his infestation charges. So that means that as soon as we start the fight, I'm not going to wait out the Incinerate because I don't want it to build up too much, and I'm going for heavies. Unfortunately, he does one medium and then dashes back out, comes back in and punishes me, and then he won't throw a heavy in that combo there. So unfortunately, we end up losing out on a load of tempo, and we've built about 25 charges straight away, and we get 34 on us before we get the first pause, and that puts us in a really difficult position. It means I'm probably going to have to deal with infestation at some point. It's also wasted some damage, but Cassie can build her damage up a lot quicker. The main thing is how high we are on infestation. If he starts being a little bit annoying, that can really spiral. So we're baiting out specials when we can. We're trying to time it so that we don't get the indestructible when he throws a special. That indestructible triggers whenever we get a bar of power. And as you can see, those infestation charges are slowly building. We can't quite keep up the pause on the charges enough to really control it. And here we're approaching Outbreak. Looking back, I should have backed off here. I shouldn't have let him throw the next special. I should have just backed off there. Unfortunately, we push him into root there. We go into the root, eating heavy, that's fine. I'll throw my special. He throws his medium and he blocks it. For some quick AI response reason, I try and dex that special and it hits us. Really, really unfortunate death there. I was very frustrated with a couple things. I think the death is mostly on me. A really big proportion of the death is on me, but Kindred didn't help. If you go back and look, after I ate the heavy, it gave me a bar of power. I tried to dex his medium and throw it immediately, and similar to the start of the fight where he just throws one medium and backs off, he just throws one medium and blocks, and there's not a lot you can do there in the moment. Looking back, as I said, I should have managed charged a little bit better. I should have backed off when he was about to go into infestation. I should have let the infestation fall off before I pushed him into root. We go back in here and just tap him because he was on about 250 health, which really sucked. And yeah, I should have, when I was in the root, I should have really have just charged a heavy let him miss into the heavy, get my connection with the heavy attack, and then go into a special to make sure that we close it out safely. And even then, even after it all, I should have got the dex, really. Which is a shame, but, you know, it just means that I've got to be a bit more careful in those sorts of fights. But moving on to this Ibom, this is on Sadist. It's a tricky node for Chee'ilth because she applies so many bleeds, but the ebb and flow protection at the start of the fight removes the poisons that Ibom is going to start with, so it kind of removes a little bit of what makes him difficult here. I am going for bleeds in this fight. I know that if I take a special one, it's going to hurt, but I'm just trying to get this fight over with as quickly as possible. The ebb and flow coming back, also removing the bleeds, kind of helps us, so it's not that big a deal. Here I'm trying to fish for an intercept, and he's not going for it. I accidentally push him over a bar of power, and he goes unblockable. 3 hits hit me, and they all poison, because of course they do. So go for a light intercept there, and he doesn't play into me. I'm not really playing too well in this fight, as you can see, but we're getting through it. I'm not in much of a risk of dying. And then here I could either bait the special, but we go for the striker into a combo, into a special if we needed it, because I felt I had the range to close it out. So not the cleanest fight, and not the cleanest start to a war I've ever had in my life. And next up, we're going to be going for this Maestro. Your Kushala needs to be awakened to take it on this node, and you want to be really managing your blessings really well, because this is a fight that's possible, because it's on Mighty Charge. Whenever he dashes forward, he'll remove all the debuffs on him, and if you've got an unawakened Kushala, he'll shrug off your soul barb. However, Kushala's Sig allows her to get a chance. It's quite small on its base, but you can increase your ability accuracy by keeping up your blessings, and you have a chance to make your debuffs go passive. So what we're going to be doing is really focusing on trying to get a intercept here to pause the current blessings that we have. Whenever we parry, whenever we heavy, we'll get a blue or yellow blessing respectively, and if we get a red blessing, which is from an intercept, then we can just keep them all up. Whenever you get one of the blessings that you currently have the lowest stack, for example, now we've got 3 of each and then 1 of the yellow. If we got a yellow blessing at that point, it would have paused all of them because you've activated one of the lowest stacks. As you can see, we got pretty lucky with that passive proc there, but it's no big deal. We can just intercept here to take the protection off. I could probably go for a heavy here to pause my blessings, and we do. And yeah, the fight is pretty much under our control right now. We just need another combo and another special. One thing that I do really like with Kushala in these sorts of fights is actually using Mystic Power Back boosts. They don't really affect her that much, but when you crit, if you go back, you can actually see that you're getting quite a decent amount of power. And because all of her damaging effects are paused during her specials, it means you can keep up some damage a little bit better. And of course, it's just getting you back to your special 2 quicker, and it means we can get even more damage. So next up, we are going to go for this Wolf on Incinerate and Shock Hazard Shift. I, again, have taken this fight not as often as Kindred, but I've taken Werewolves a few times last season with Decay. He is a lot more scary this season. You don't have Decay to remove his rupture damage. You don't have Decay to apply a slow, which removes his unstoppable. And you don't have Decay to control his passive power gain. So he gets a lot more scary. I did take this fight a fair bit with Cassie, specifically last season, and something felt different in this fight that I'll get into a little bit later with the AI, and it causes me a fair bit of issues. So, we want to get up our Incinerates. I've gone for a combat regen boost just to counteract any initial Incinerates that we get, and there we go. We've got a couple ticking away, but we're just going to heal. I thought he was going to dash into me there and went for a heavy, but he was just howling, so that was a bit of a mistake. Still got some time on the passive regen from the boost, so we're going to counteract that a little bit. The taunt and all the debuffs very much help with inequity as well, so we're going to be reducing his attack a fair bit. Again, he just kind of stands there and I expect him to run into me so I can miss, and he just goes for a howl, and then he dashes back, and instead of throwing a special, he goes for a howl, and I lose all my stings. I thought he was going to do it again there, but luckily he plays into me and I can stack some stings. This fight is really tricky because if he doesn't go for those, then we just lose all our stings and all our momentum. There, I forget that when he's in Curse, I can't punish his specials or heavies because he'll go unstoppable on a cooldown. But here we bait out a special and I just see that the unstoppable is going to come back off cooldown at the very end, so I don't punish here, which I was quite happy with. And yeah, he's just almost got us pinned in the corner. I'm worried. I use the striker to gain some space. I hope that he throws that special, but I didn't have enough time to bait it out, so we layer some more stings on. I guess the one nice thing about him going for howls is it does really help you get your openings. Sometimes he'll just dash back and you're able to run in and interrupt his howl and he'll give you an opening. So it's, you know, pros and cons, I guess, but it's quite difficult. We're layering on the stings. I just managed to get my special off here to pause them, and with the taunt and the knockdown, he throws it here. And I'm in an okay position to finish out the fight now. We just need to bait one more special, tap him on block to kind of poke him into throwing it, and he does. But I would not take that fight again. I did not feel in control. I did not like it. I would really try and send someone else. I would probably send Chee'ilth because she counters Wolf quite well with her own debuff control and her special one, which allows her to ignore unstoppables. You'd probably want the Hulk synergy though. And speaking of Hulk, perfect segue, we're going to be taking this Hulk on power efficiency. Like I said at the start of the video, the tactic currently counters power efficiency, but because this isn't a tactic fight, we don't particularly need the taunt. We can also just deal with him throwing more specials, so I'm not that worried if we don't get the taunt. If it happens naturally, perfect. I'm going to be spamming special ones here because I want to try and get a Falter on him if possible. No big deal though. If we don't get the Falter on him and it goes on us, it's a debuff, so we cleanse it. I also really want to focus on keeping my Grizzly's Grit passive up, because that, as you can see right now, allows us to avoid the unstoppable that Hulk gets when he goes into his rage mode. And as you can see at the moment, he's firstly melting and dead within 40 seconds, and that's a mini boss. But also we don't have the taunt up right now, and he throws a special and just goes back down to a special one, so it's no big deal. It's a very safe fight, and I'd be extremely happy to take that one again or assign it. And that concludes this war. Not as happy with my performances as other wars, but you know, you have those days, and yeah, I was disappointed to die to a non-tactic fight. I think I spent most of my time preparing for the tactic fights, and I didn't underestimate Kindred, but I probably should have done a little bit more dueling just to get used to the fight again, and I really should have reacted better to what the AI was doing. Not that I should have predicted him doing the mediums and dashing back, because it messed me up twice, but I really should have controlled the fight better when the AI did something I didn't expect, like dealing with an outbreak before the root phase so that I can push him safely into the root phase. I was just rushing to get the fight done. I wanted to get out there as quickly as possible, but I ended up having an outbreak while I was rooted, and that's not what you want. But I should have also just firstly decked the special that killed me, but also made sure that my own special connected, so I should have gone for a heavy and then changed that into my own special. But yeah, sometimes you live and learn, sometimes you die and learn, so next time I face Kindred, I'll be better equipped to take it. But yeah, that'll do it for this one. I will catch you next time, and thanks very much for watching. Cheers.